It is Talking Reds, it's Neil Atkinson with Fuad Hasan. I am all in favour of getting carried away. I am the king of getting carried away. I spend my life getting carried away. But if there is one thing that last night's Champions League game say to us, Fuad, it is actually the dangers of getting carried away. Let's be absolutely crystal clear about this. Chelsea decimated Real Madrid, but Madrid managed to hang on for dear life and pull themselves round. Villarreal went and got a very unlikely result, in my view. I thought Villarreal could go through. I just thought if they were going to go through, they were going to go through 0-0, or maybe even 0-1 and then on pens.
Yeah.
I didn't quite see them turning the fixture around. I didn't see them scoring a goal, to be quite honest with you. I thought they could keep them out for long periods, but I didn't think they could score a goal. They scored a goal. So the point about this is that tonight, therefore, against Benfica, last night should have us absolutely desperate to get into that ground tonight and get behind this team, because, my God, it does look like anything can happen.
Definitely, and it's just another reminder, you can't take this stage of the competition for granted, no matter who you're playing.
No.
And it's something I've been thinking about a little bit, just because, you know, the fact that we are in a quarter-final, and, you know, before the game, you hear a few of the things that it's already done and dusted, and naturally people are going to have that sort of thought process, but you don't expect any of that to be trickling down into the players. You know,
best not be.
They'll definitely won't be, and I think the fact that, you know, the manager spoke a lot yesterday about, you know, that there's a lot for us still to do in this, and we're going to approach it the same mindset. And I think interestingly, a lot of that trickles down from the players themselves not being, you know, they weren't entitled to the Champions League. Loads of these players, other than Thiago really, had to sort of earn their way to get to that stage. Their careers weren't born into the Champions League.
Yeah.
They didn't come from clubs that are already at that level. They've sort of built up to that. So you see whenever Liverpool go out in a European game, whether it's a dead rubber group stage game or a knockout game, they never really, they still have the humility and they don't take anything for granted, and I expect the same.
I think the other thing as well is the enjoyment. So
Yes.
if we get through here, it means that Klopp's made 3 Champions League semi-finals. Last year we also made the quarter-final when it was behind closed doors, even though we were in terrible form at the time we did that. But for me, a massive part of this is still relishing every minute of them, us as a fan base as much as them on the pitch, because for long periods, and by long periods, you know, I do sort of mean 2010 right the way through to 2017, 18, we did not have this. And I think a lot of the other sides have had this. That's not the case for Villarreal, but it is the case for Bayern Munich, it is the case for Chelsea, it is the case for Real Madrid, it has been the case for Manchester City. But for us, we've still got to almost treat every single time like it's the first time.
Exactly. Even though this is our level now, you know, this is a side that belongs at this stage, but then at the end of the day, you never really belong anywhere. You have to earn your right to be there, and I think that's really great. And it's great to see, you know, it's nice that this game's fallen, you know, in the Easter holidays, so some kids get to go, and that'll be nice, because it's a whole other kind of group of generation of people that get to sort of see the Reds at this level and really feel what it's like, because it is always special. You know, you can go back to the Porto game where that one, well, was even more kind of, you know, gone than this.
5-0,
it was completely different. Yeah, completely different. But, you know, there's still that buzz, there's still that special sort of feeling. And look, there was a team last night in Real Madrid that probably could claim to have that same sort of feeling with this competition. But Liverpool are right up there. Liverpool are a better side than any of those teams.
We are right now a better side than anyone who played last night.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich do the decent thing by making it crystal clear. That they don't deserve to be there. You know, they have 2 opportunities at Villarreal. They only score 1 goal across 180 minutes against a Villarreal side, don't get me wrong, are the Europa League champions. They're brilliant at knockout football, but they are where they are in the Spanish league, and it's worth pointing that out. That's not to say 7th in the Spanish league isn't stronger than 7th in the Premier League or 7th in the Bundesliga, but they only score 1 goal in 180 minutes. So there's us and there's Manchester City, and then there is the rest. And that's, again, not to say that us and Manchester City are both or either definitely going through tonight, but it is worth sort of dwelling on the fact that right now, if they're looking across Europe, they are looking and thinking Liverpool look best placed to get themselves into the Champions League final. We have to acknowledge that on the one hand, whilst on the other hand still saying there's loads and loads of work to do.
Oh, exactly. And the best thing you can say about this Liverpool side is that you have more than enough confidence in them, but really believing that and keeping that mentality all the way through. And I think, look, tonight with this game, you know, Benfica may come out the blocks, may come out quick, but you always back Liverpool to score a goal. And I think the thing that's really scary if you're the opposition is Liverpool wasted chances at their place, but then at Man City they were ruthless in the 2 big chances they did have. Yes, there were 1 or 2 more, and every football fan thinks that their team can be more ruthless.
Yeah.
But I think that game would really scare me if I was an opposition player, because, you know, that first half Liverpool in so much pressure, but bang, they go and score that goal, and they could do the same again tonight. Benfica may score, but it's hard to see Liverpool not scoring a couple.
It's really hard not to see Liverpool scoring a couple. His options competitions to me are fascinating,
Yeah.
because he does need to at some point acknowledge the number of competitions that we are in and the number of things that we are going for. The other thing to point out is we play Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday. Arguably the game that's most important, the one that's most must win, not must get through, but must win, is the one next Tuesday against Manchester United. You know, we can get through against City without beating them, and we can get through against Benfica without beating them, but we can't win the league without beating Manchester United next Tuesday. Let's be crystal clear about that. What do you expect him therefore to make a couple of changes tonight around legs, or do you think he'll do a couple of things that he might have done anyway? He does Konate in the first leg.
Yes,
he may well reinvigorate his midfield. What I'm sort of asking is, do you think it's going to be one or two changes like a Naby Keita and a Konate, or do you think it might get to the point that one of the fullbacks gets a rest, that we might see Minamino or Origi on the pitch at least for a period of time? Where do you think the gauge is on this?
Yeah, I think you do get those one or two changes like the Konates and your Naby Keitas where there doesn't feel like there's that drop off or anything. And same with the other changes, you know, you don't feel like there's a big drop off these days in this squad. And I do think he'll start stronger. And I think the 5 subs things is always a big thing in this competition. If it was in others, and we'd obviously see the benefits of that in other ways. But I think he really likes to use it in this, and especially if the game's going the way that it can look. Liverpool are more than capable of starting this game and being 2-0 up at half time, and then you're able to take your Salahs off, you're able to take your other key kind of players off, your Fabinhos. I think Fabinho's a really important one that
I wouldn't pick him tonight.
I wouldn't. No, I think you go with Henderson in that 6, and you should have you give him that game on Saturday, and you give him that one.
From now on, just one of my few things that I've got that I'm sort of quite wedded to, with probably all the way through until Tottenham now.
Yeah.
Maybe the semi-final if we get there. But I'm not that desperate to see Fabinho and Henderson both on the pitch at the same time. I think we can get the best out of both from now until the remainder of the campaign, having them work with one another in that 6th position a little bit. I think that there's not really a game where I'm thinking we necessarily need Thiago, Fabinho and Henderson all on the pitch at once from now until, as I say, maybe Tottenham, maybe Villarreal first leg, or maybe Tottenham, where I'm thinking I want all 3 of them on the pitch at once. I think getting 2 out of 3 is a big deal, and I really want us to sort of just help Fabinho through, because I think he ends up with so much to do that if we can pick his games for him a little bit more, maybe we'll get the very best out of him.
Exactly. I mean, in terms of the whole squad, look, Liverpool have so many options, but in that 6 role, there is really only the 2 of them to anchor that, and the energy required and the freshness you kind of need, and you sort of can't blame Fabinho that he struggled a little bit on the weekend just because of the sheer amount of games that he's had to play.
And the amount of work he has to get through a game, he's got such a big square to look after.
It's huge, and it's such a task because of the quality of players you have going around them, and Liverpool are going to be playing quality sides now because they're at that stage of all competition. So I'm completely with you on that. I think Fabinho does need a little bit of wrapping up, and I think the freshness will benefit us in a lot of different ways. Not just defensively, but also going forward, to have those midfield positions as fresh as possible and be able to interchange them. And look, you're more than confident with players coming in like Keita. He sort of earned himself a spot now on this team over the last few weeks. So you're confident that they can sort of move players around and still keep the same level.
Absolutely. The key thing then tonight is, ultimately, do we think we're going through? And I think that you and I both do think that we're going through. For me, it would be excellent if Liverpool could find a way to have the job feel like it's done by the hour mark. I think that we're capable of that, and then we're capable of keeping Benfica at arm's length. It's all about scoring first.
Yeah.
I think if we score first tonight, I think it'll all be absolutely fine. I think if we don't score first, you could understand nerves descending, especially given what happened last night.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting. I was sort of thinking about how would Benfica approach this, because in the first game, it was very clear that they wanted to go and get a goal, didn't they, quite early on as well. They were expansive, and if you leave those 2 centre halves exposed, who are older now, their legs are sort of going slowly, then you're going to cause trouble. And if they do the same in the first half, I think this time Liverpool won't make the same mistakes, and not in terms of not taking all their chances. I think Liverpool will go up, but I think a lot of it does depend on how Benfica see it. If they want to stay in it at 2-0 down or 3-1 down, by the hour mark, then it might be a little bit harder for Liverpool to kind of get the goal. But I do see them attacking it early on, and that will open up gaps.
Should I talk about my glasses?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the first time I've discussed any of this on a show. After we were in Cork doing the live show, we went for a few drinks afterwards, and it was about 2 a.m. and it was more than a few drinks, and I fell off a very high curb in Cork and went face first into the concrete. This did a number of things. It damaged my lip, it damaged the temples where the pressure went the glasses onto the face. And then from there, it was a bloodbath. I'm not going to over-exaggerate, to be honest with you.
When you came back, I was worried. I didn't know what happened.
It was an absolute bloodbath. So what should have happened is that we should have gone to A&E. What actually happened is we went for a pizza and glued my lip back together with napkins. I probably should have had a stitch, honestly, in both sides of my lip, but we managed to get it to heal up overnight. But my glasses have been damaged a bit since. And then I went to Austin, Texas to do a book event with broken lip. Went through customs in the US and glasses that were askew. And previous to that, I'd started looking to get in contacts just to where occasionally I was playing footy or doing something else. But the thing is that when I went to have that, I had an eye test and my prescriptions actually eased. So I'm not quite as short-sighted as I was. So I've been wearing the glasses, but the glasses are bent out of shape now. I've got new glasses on order, just for all of you, so we're all in this together. I've got new glasses on order, but basically, because the glasses are A, now the incorrect prescription, but B, bent out of shape, when I wear them, I can just go through spells where I don't know where I am. And that sort of compounded with face first onto cork concrete meant I had no sleep going to Austin and back, being utterly jet lagged. I had quite the 10 days in there. So I didn't really want to mention it whilst my lip still looked awful. It looks a little bit better now. I'm obviously absolutely fine if you've got concerns. But that's why the contacts are being worn occasionally at the minute and a little bit more often when the new glasses come, which are quite a big, bold, racing green framed pair, which I'm into. Hopefully you'll be into them too. The glasses will then return more often. I'll still wear contacts every now and again, but it's just at the minute easier for me to function in life with the contacts. So there's been people asking in the comments. I've
gotten used to it now.
There's been more and more of it. So the glasses will return. It'll end up being, I think probably about sort of 5 days a week glasses, 2 days a week contact when we get right the way through. But that is what's gone on. So as I say, everything's fine. Don't be worrying in the slightest about any of that. What else do we have in the comments? Ronnie Hot Dogs. Not what he was christened, says that, well, maybe it was. If so, Ronnie, I am Mr. Hot Dogs. I apologise. He says the Greek Scouser deserves some minutes tonight, Gomez too. I think that there's a bit of truth in that, but I think I wouldn't be doing them both. No. I think it's absolutely fine, for instance, if he was to choose to start one or the other, but I think until that game's to bed, both shouldn't be on the pitch at the same time. Do
you think he might do Gomez against City?
No, I think Trent's so important to how we play. I think he might do him at centre half. Against City.
That's what I was thinking.
He might do him at centre half against City because he might think this lad needs this game at this stage. He might do him then. Issam points out how Madrid sort of went for it massively. Ryan praises your high pressure filming of me marauding around pokes. He calls it award worthy.
Brilliant.
Any awards you've got, text them in. To Fuad. Text all the awards in. It is excellent. Listen, the games remain thick and fast. We'll do more and more of them. Big games, big results, more of that sort of thing. Ultimately, it's down to Liverpool Football Club. If they win, we will do it. Other public service announcements, I've got lots of them all of a sudden. If you're on Apple, there'll be a few issues with your app. What you need to just do is log back in. First and foremost, just log back in. If you've forgot, go through the app, put your login details in. If you can't remember your password, go to forgotten password and reset it and go from there. Sorry for this mess, and we're trying to update something on the app so people who don't currently subscribe can pay through the app. That's what the work is been ongoing about. It's finishing now on Apple and on Android. There's obviously been a little refresh thing on Apple that's coming overnight, so please do that, and it should work. If it then doesn't work for you, email help@theanfieldwrap.com. Do not, and I mean this with the greatest love and respect, do not at me on the Twitter. I'm the worst man you could possibly ask. I would put me, of everybody who works at the Anfield Wrap, full-time, we're fortunate, there's 14 of us, and I would rank me 15th. You'd be better off just grabbing someone else and having you HQ. So, but if all of that doesn't work for you, do just email. So if you've been logged out, just try and log back in. If you can remember your password, great. If you can't, that's absolutely fine. Click on forgotten password. It'll then prompt you through. There'll be a code that'll get emailed to you at one point as well. Very quickly, all this, because I did it yesterday. And then you'll come all the way back through, and then you'll be able to put in the new password, set all of that stuff up, and you'll be absolutely flying. any issues, help@theanfieldwrap.com. Sorry for the inconvenience. We are just trying to sort of change a couple of things, as I say it, so people who don't currently subscribe can do it through the app. If you don't currently subscribe, there is no better time to do so. Let me be crystal clear. The games come thick and fast. Our coverage is absolutely phenomenal all the way through. Couldn't be prouder of it at the minute. It's under the lights yesterday. Preview was the business. Looking forward to this one. Review after City was terrific. The free show this week, my God, how good was Stu, Amelia and John. Really enjoyed it massively. Everything that you need with the Anfield Wrap. What else have we got in there all the way through? Yep, dangerous game, absolutely, says Ian McHale. Could not agree more. Reds are not only a better team than Benfica and Villarreal, we also have the experience. I think that this is a big deal, but what I would say is Bayern Munich went short of experience. They've won the Champions League a couple of seasons back, Fuad. So we can't get carried away, I think, on the experience point. I think the sheer excitement is as important as the experience.
Definitely. And also the little changes he does make. You know, these are players that are going to be stepping into a European Cup quarter-final. So there'll be that injection. And look, I don't think we've ever had to question this Liverpool side sort of ability to sort of not just turn up in these games, but also just keep at the level that we know they're at. That they always do it, and they always find a way to do it. So there's not going to be a lack of fight if that needs to happen. There's not going to be a lack of quality if that needs to happen. They always sort of find a way, and they've got a body of evidence to show that.
Skyjacker says that Klopp looked stressed and tired yesterday. I don't think I think there's some press conferences that he goes into, and he's almost like, I can't be bothered. And I think he's got a big issue with the middle one of a Champions League tie. The one before the second leg, because, you know, we're ahead, so he knows everyone's going to go, oh, well, you're through, aren't you? And then he's going to do the thing where he goes, we're not, you know, because it's half time and we've got to do this and we've got to do this and we've got to do this and we've seen that they're a good side. What do you think of Benfica? And then he's a bit like, well, you all watched the first leg. Christ almighty, let's not let that happen. Good catch indeed. You know, and I think he's just a bit... you know, at some point someone will ask him about the quadruple. I think he's just a bit like, can you come up with something? But give me something, engage me, I think. And yesterday I thought was a really big one where he was just like, can you just engage me a bit more? Or I'd rather not do this. Can we just do one at the start of the tie? And then I can disappear off, please. Yeah,
I mean, so Liverpool have played the maximum games they could have played so far, which means Klopp has done the maximum press conferences he could have done so far. And it does get repetitive for him. You know, also in between that, you know, how many interviews does he have to do generally? And there's all these other things. So I think it's natural for him to reach that point, and he wasn't happy about the fixture thing. He's got it in for BT a bit, hasn't he? He very much made it clear to them that he wasn't happy at all with it. And I think, you know, when he gets the schedules and he sees these things, it's hard for that to sort of not be on his mind in these press conferences.
Yep, absolutely. Ryan says, Jesus, how high are those curbs in Cork? Ryan, you're not fucking wrong, mate. You're not absolutely wrong at all. If it had been much higher, I'd have done a full somersault, to be honest with you. Landed on me back and everything would be absolutely fine.
You're a tall man as well, Neil, so it's a long way to go down.
It was quite the angle that we went at. Teeth are fine as well, I hasten to add. Everything moving all the way along. What else have we got in here? Anything else that sort of grabs me? I'd start Salah, by the way.
Yes.
I would, because I'd like him to get a goal.
I'd like him to get a goal as well.
Yeah, I would like him to get a goal massively. We are going tonight, indeed. Really, really looking forward for it. Kembry says 12:30 on Saturday between the Champions League semis. He's pissed about that. He is, but that might still be Tuesday and Wednesday. And then the 12:30 thing matters a little bit less. I think in general he just fucking hates 12:30 as a kick-off time for football. What I would say on that though, and if I was sitting with you, and I think he's making a point about next year, by the way, because next year the schedule's so intense. So I think he's just laying a marker down to say, come on, consent prevail for next year. I am so much happier playing Newcastle at 12:30 on Saturday than 5:30.
Yes.
In Newcastle's ground.
Yes.
I remember the last time we played Newcastle on a Saturday night in 18-19 in the running, and we all nearly died of heart attacks.
That was on my birthday.
It was so stressful.
It was horrible, It was horrible. Did you go to that?
No, I didn't. I believe people who went were almost just collapsing with the overexertion of it all and all that sort of stuff. Okay then. Is there a chance that if City get through that the semi-final home-away order is switched? I don't think so. I would be really, really surprised if that was the case. I think, we will look to start strong tonight, Genevieve. I'm with you 100%. There's lots of people trying to work out geographically where Villarreal is. That's allowed as well. Whilst I've been on live, someone's rang me, which is always interesting when that happens. Who do you think it is? I think it's someone I know or someone I don't know.
Craig.
Rob Gutman.
Wow.
Showing his commitment to the content there, marvellous stuff. It has been a pleasure. It has been Talking Reds. It's Fuad Hasan, it's Neil Atkinson, it's Contact Lenses, it's Cork. It's getting through to a Champions League semi-final. It's going all the way to Paris. It is doing the decent thing. It couldn't be kinder for Liverpool, but they've got to take advantage of everything that's coming to them. Download the app, enjoy the content. We are on the march.